What I'm about to show you is extremely disturbing. A young woman in Minneapolis was just driving her car, trying to get to a doctor's appointment before finding the road blocked by ICE. They broke into her car, threw her out of the vehicle, and arrested her, even though she's an American citizen. Look at this. Again, she was just trying to go to a doctor's appointment, and protesters and ICE were blocking the way. She clearly is trying to comply with the officers, trying to figure out how to move her car and find an alternative route. Instead, they go through the back of her car, cut her seatbelt off, and rip her out of the vehicle. In case you're still confused about what's going on, this is Trump's private army now, and they are causing maximum pain against American citizens for views, I suppose.
An ICE officer just shot and unalived a woman in the state of Minnesota while she was peacefully protesting. That's what the Democrats are saying. What they're not saying is how she, amongst so many other individuals in the state of Minnesota, have been blockading their vehicles in front of ICE vehicles, detaining them from doing their job, detaining them from fulfilling their role in the United States and in the Trump administration. They're not telling you how they were not just throwing snowballs and other things, breaking some windows for federal ICE officers. They're not telling you how there was an ICE agent standing right in front of her vehicle when she decided to slam her foot on the gas and put him in harm's danger. And when deadly force was met with deadly force, it's the ICE agent's fault for some reason. It has nothing to do with this war on ICE that the people that voted blue have been feeding to this generation. It has nothing to do with the over 1,000% violence that ICE has been experiencing ever since the left lost in the election. It has nothing to do with this war on ICE that they continually spread throughout social media, spread throughout all of the news stations, spread on a daily basis, almost like they're getting paid to talk about the same thing. And yeah, what I think happened over there should not have happened. That individual should not have been blocking those people in the street. That individual should not have slammed her foot on the gas and put ICE federal officers in danger. My heart goes out to their family and to the many families that will see her as a martyr and want to increase the hostility that ICE is already experiencing. Because if you think that was bad, those decisions that those people that are peacefully protesting is going to increase the violence in this country.
What's her name? Renee Good?
Back up.
And you that's a memorial to her.
Renee Good's memorial site was deliberately destroyed by ICE. An emotional protester shouted directly at law enforcement officers, accusing them of ignoring the memorial and showing blatant disrespect toward her. Renee Good was a mother, a woman who had spoken up for rights. Many members of the public came to the site on their own, placing flowers, photographs, candles, and handwritten notes, not only to honor her life, but also to demand answers to questions that still remain unresolved. However, in what should have been a space of restraint and respect, the arrival of law enforcement caused the situation to rapidly escalate. Footage shows officers intentionally damaging the memorial items at the scene, removing, stepping on, and clearing away the objects placed in Renee Good's memory, while pushing the gathered crowd in the process. When protesters tried to intervene, officers repeatedly issued the same command: back up. One protester completely lost control and shouted on the spot, shot. This is a memorial for Renee Good. She was a mother. Renee Good can no longer speak for herself, but people are still standing there.
Hello YouTube family, I hope that everyone is doing fine from any part of the world that you are watching today's video from. Again, Minnesota is making headlines. This follows an ICE operation in Minneapolis which led to one of the civilians being killed. This has sparked protests and street confrontations with the federal agents. The situation has escalated quickly, drawing attention not just in the United States, but also internationally, including the United Kingdom. Remember that Representative Ilhan Omar has been vocal. She has been criticizing the federal response and also joining the protesters. She says that the operation was aggressive and intimidating. Supporters praise her for standing up for the community, but on the other hand, the critics argue that her rhetoric inflames tensions. Meanwhile, the Trump administration maintains that the federal agents are just enforcing immigration and fraud laws and also acting to protect different communities. The clash highlights a deeper conflict between the federal authority and also the local leadership. Some commentators are calling it a civil war, but that is metaphorical. It reflects the political and social tensions rather than the literal warfare. Minnesota has become a flashpoint in the American politics, showing how quickly enforcement actions, political rhetoric, and protests can collide. This is why today's story is now capturing global attention. Welcome back to Polito Realities, a channel where we dig deep, we bring forward what so many people fear to talk about. Take a minute to subscribe, to like, and to share today's video. For my subscribers and my new viewers, feel most welcome to this channel. Sit with me, let's see how people are acting or expressing themselves with what has been happening in Minnesota.
Last week, the nation watched an ICE agent shoot a Minnesota resident in broad daylight. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. I am beyond heartbroken and outraged that the Trump administration's actions led to Renee Nicole Good's murder. Her final words before being shot were calm and non-threatening. She said, "That's fine, dude. I'm not mad at you." Those are the words of someone attempting to de-escalate, not someone posing a lethal threat. After the shots were fired, the agent is heard saying, "This did not happen in isolation. This was not an accident, and it was certainly not inevitable. This killing is the direct consequence of deliberate choices made by Donald Trump and his administration. Over the last few months, the president has repeatedly inflamed tensions, espoused hateful rhetoric, and intensified attacks on Minnesotans, especially the Somali community. The American people deserve answers and accountability. They deserve to live without fear of federal agents acting as judge, jury, and executioner in our streets. And so today, I am glad to announce that the Congressional Progressive Caucus has adopted an official position to hold ICE accountable. Our caucus members will oppose all funding for immigration enforcement in any appropriation bills until meaningful reforms are enacted to end militarized policing practices. We cannot and we should not continue to fund agencies that operate with impunity, that escalate violence, and that undermine the very freedoms this country claims to uphold. ICE has no place in terrorizing Minneapolis or any American community. Together, we will stand united to ensure we put a check on the pattern of violence and lawlessness from this administration. Hey everyone, Congresswoman Ilhan Omar here in Cedar, Riverside, Minneapolis with the Cedar Riverside Protection Alliance. I am so grateful for the fact that they are out here doing the important work, one, of informing the community of what is happening with these ICE raids, making sure that they are challenging ICE agents to have judicial warrants, and making sure that our communities have the resources that they need. Thank you, everyone. We are only protected if we protect one another. So thank you.
If I may, I think we can debate a lot of things. I think the point here is that the government is telling us through the president and the vice president and Levitt putting I Stand With ICE on all of the socials that they can kill us at any time and they can get away with it.
Oh, good Lord.
And I think if we interfere with them while they're disappearing people off the street, if we don't like them kidnapping our neighbors, if we don't like them building concentration camps, if we film them while they're doing it, we can't do anything about it. Because this is no longer the land of the free. And if you do something about it, they will lie about you. They will lie about who you were. And this is the point that they're trying to make right.
Everyone has an opinion, so here's mine. I know you all have heard about the Minnesota woman who was gunned down by ICE agents yesterday. And a lot of people are up in arms about this. I think that this is a real bad situation. And this is really unfortunate what happened to her. And also thinking about her 3 children. Thinking about her wife, just thinking about her family, and I'm sad about that. I'm also thinking about the ICE agents and the obstacles that these radical left nut jobs continue to put in the way of people who are simply trying to do their job. It's a real shame. One, multiple things are wrong with this situation. Let's start with the fact that the woman shouldn't have been out there. That seems to be a running thing with these white liberal apologists in Minnesota. They want to stick their noses where it doesn't belong because they feel like perhaps they're in debt or they owe people of color or minorities. And I don't exactly understand why. They seem to be super apologetic. I'm not exactly sure why. And it's just a real bad thing. And when you see all of this shit happening, you think to yourself, like, if we as black people would have did the exact same thing that this woman did, would there be this outpouring of support for us? Would people be calling for, like, it's a real slippery slope, because they always tell black folks that we must be compliant. Now here we have this liberal white woman not being compliant and then getting what ultimately us black folks get when we're not compliant. And now you're expecting us to feel some kind of way? This is par for the course. I'm gonna tell you exactly what they told us. You should have been compliant. It was your actions that prompted this. It's almost like you had a death wish. You decided that you were going to block traffic and alert people that ICE was there conducting an operation, not searching for you. You're an American citizen. You had no reason to be out there. ICE wasn't even looking for you. But you decided to stick your nose in someone else's business. Another problem with white liberals. It seems like y'all don't know how to mind your own fucking business. Because if you would have minded your own business, you would still be alive. You would be at home in your cozy house with your wife and your 3 children. But instead, we're sitting here talking about you no longer being here. We're talking about your widow who's now survived by you and your 3 children who are now survived by you. And suffice it to say, where will the children go? Are they going back to dad's house, or are they going to stay with the second mom and further continue to destroy these children, being in that type of fucking environment in the first place? See, y'all got it fucked up. You think that the officer was wrong here when the officer was simply doing his job. That lady was given a direct assignment. She was told what to do, and she did not listen. Yes, we can debate whether the officer could have used lesser force, but city to city, coast to coast, everywhere that ICE goes, these people continue, I'm talking about the radical left, they continue to be an impediment on these operations. The local law enforcement doesn't want to help. They want you to come into the neighborhoods, and they want ICE to knock heads around just the way that they're doing, and they want you to be part of the civil unrest. So that way when someone dies, the Democrats can come out and say, look at what these Republicans did, and now use your death as political theater and a way to levy votes. Yo, y'all gotta wake up. Take your head out of your ass and think logically. If a police officer told you to stop or to freeze, and then you continue to do what it is that he asked you to stop, whatever happens at that point is on you. This was a federal agent. Federal. That means they have jurisdiction throughout the country. Federal jurisdiction supersedes local jurisdiction. So to the Minneapolis PD and to the mayor of Minneapolis, who's doing his best Donald Trump impersonation, it's so crazy how they talk so much stuff about Donald Trump, but yet they do everything they can to be just like him. They even trying to sound like him. It's kind of crazy, right? Get the fuck out of our city. You're talking to federal jurisdiction. As long as your city is in our country, we will do what the fuck we want to do. You don't have no say. All you can do is stand by and watch your people get shot because they don't want to listen, and you won't provide them with the leadership and the guidance that they need to stop this nonsense, stop this radical behavior, and you won't have to worry about people being unalived. But that's just my opinion. Love to know yours. Drop a like, comment, share this video, and of course, you know, I need to help a brother out special. Smash that follow button.
Donald Trump was just asked what his message is for Renee Nicole Good's father, a supporter of his following her murder, and what he said is just so disgusting. Just watch.
An important question about the situation in Minnesota, the death of Renee Nicole Good. I've been speaking to her father, who is a big supporter of yours, like many Americans are, but he's heartbroken right now. I can understand that. He's heartbroken because his daughter is dead, that's obvious. He's also heartbroken because your administration so quickly has come out and said she's a domestic terrorist. What do you want to say to her father right now?
Well, I want to say to the father that I love all of our people. They can be on the other side, as you say, he might be on my side.
He is on your side.
And I think that's great. And I do. I think it's great. And I would bet you that she, under normal circumstances, was a very solid, wonderful person. But, you know, her actions were pretty tough. I mean, I've seen it many ways and many different shapes and forms.
So essentially what he just said right there is, yeah, I know he's a supporter of mine. He's grieving. His daughter's no longer here because of an ICE agent, but it was totally justified. Her actions were tough, he said. I mean, her father is an American, a supporter of his, and he doesn't have the decency to, number one, reach out to the family as president of the United States, but also, number two, he can't admit he got it wrong. He can't say, you know what, we shouldn't have called her that. We're really sorry for your loss. We want an investigation to go forward. We're going to do everything we can to get to the bottom of this. That's the right response. I can come up with that as a 23-year-old. Why can't he as president of the United States? This should be a reminder for all Trump supporters, no matter how much you support him, how much you donate to him, how many times you vote for him, in your time of need, he will turn his back on you if it's politically convenient.
Hello again and welcome back. Now let's talk about what really happened in Minnesota and why it has become a story people are watching not only in the United States but internationally. This story started when a federal ICE operation in Minneapolis ended up with a civilian being killed. That one incident sparked protests, tense standoffs with the federal agents, and intense political debate. People took to the streets and the situation escalated very fast. Ilhan Omar, the congresswoman for Minneapolis, spoke out immediately. She criticized the federal response, saying it was aggressive and also intimidating. She joined the protest and demanded accountability. Some people support her, saying that she's standing up for the community. Others say her words made tensions even become worse. On the other hand, the Trump administration defends the federal agents. They say the agents are enforcing the law, handling immigration and fraud cases, and also keeping communities safe. To many, it looks like a direct clash between the federal authority and also the local leaders. Some media outlets have used terms like civil war, but that is just rhetoric. It's about political tension and confrontation, not on the actual war. Minnesota is a symbol of how quickly local conflicts can turn into national headlines. State and local officials didn't stay quiet as well. They pushed back legally, filing lawsuits to challenge the federal actions. Some federal prosecutors even resigned because of the disputes over the case. It's a lot of tension in one state, but it reflects the bigger issues. That is, the federal versus the local power, law enforcement versus the civil liberties and political divisions. This isn't just a local story. Minnesota is now a national flashpoint. The situation raises questions about enforcement, trust in the government, and how political leaders use these moments to push their agendas. It's also a story that shows international audiences, like in the UK, the intensity of the American politics today. So when you hear about civil war or clashes, remember it's about political and social tension, not literal fighting. It's about protests, authority, and the clash between the local and also the federal power. In the end, Minnesota is a warning. It shows how quickly enforcement, political rhetoric, and protests can escalate. It's about federal authority, local resistance, and national debate. And that's why the world is watching. You have been watching Polito Realities, a space where we handle real conversation. Leave your thoughts in the comment section. Until next time, be informed.